Welcome back into the channel, football fans. Today, we/AI are going 5 years into the NFL future. I had ChatGPT predict the next 5 years of the NFL, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. The longer into this video goes, the crazier it gets. We're talking MVPs, potential dynasties, and of course, Super Bowl winners. Let's hop in to next NFL season. So I'm not gonna lie, the 2026 NFL season for Super Bowl 60 was actually pretty normal. The MVP of the league was Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs, as he put up 45 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in the season, while leading the league in passer rating and orchestrating the most explosive offense again, according to ChatGPT. So guys like Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Pacheco, Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelce. It's certainly in the realm of possibilities that Patrick Mahomes has a fantastic season in 2026, and maybe he gets back to his gunslinging ways. They listed breakout team as the Detroit Lions, who won 15 games last year, so I'm not sure what ChatGPT is thinking there. The note that they put was Jared Goff continues to evolve, Jahmyr Gibbs becomes a top 5 back, which he already is, and Aiden Hutchinson leads a ferocious pass rush. But of course, what is the Super Bowl matchup? We head back to another repeat Super Bowl from 2 years ago, the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the San Francisco 49ers. This would actually be quite interesting, as it would be the third time in the last 6 years that these teams faced in the Super Bowl, and it would be a home Super Bowl for the 49ers coming from Santa Clara. But I got some bad news, Niners fans, as ChatGPT predicts the Kansas City Chiefs will once again win the Super Bowl. The final score was 31-27. Patrick Mahomes wins his 4th Super Bowl title and another Super Bowl MVP in a Super Bowl rematch. Would be super exciting as football fans, would kind of put a real stamp on the Chiefs and the 49ers as the best teams of the last decade. I would imagine those two getting back to the Super Bowl. A really simple prediction from ChatGPT for 2026, Mahomes MVP, Lions good, Chiefs Niners Super Bowl. I promise you, shit gets much crazier. As we head into the 2026 NFL season, we have a breakout team and a breakout player, as the MVP of the National Football League is none other than Caleb Williams. Williams lights up the league with a historic campaign, throwing for 5,000 plus yards and 40 touchdowns. The Bears were the best regular season team. Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, and a top 5 defense take over the NFC. Cool. The line that stuck out to me, Matt Eberflus finally has his team contending. Not only is ChatGPT, I guess, predicting Ben Johnson out, but the Flus is back for the Bears and he's leading them to being the best team in the NFL. Absolutely nuts. And our Super Bowl 61 matchup is the Chicago Bears versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, maybe he finally gets a defense. His team is back in the Super Bowl with Chase, with Higgins, with Chase Brown, I would imagine. And ChatGPT predicts that the winner of Super Bowl 61 will be none other than Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati Bengals. A final score of 34-24. And their line here for this is Joe Burrow finally gets his ring and silences all the "can he win the big one" talk. Feels more like that as Lamar Jackson, can he win the big one? But Joe Burrow, just 2 years from now, is the projected Super Bowl MVP according to ChatGPT. I mean, Bengals Bears would be a real fun Super Bowl, especially if Caleb Williams elevates to that level that ChatGPT is predicting here. Joe Burrow just getting back to the playoffs would be fun, and in this world, he gets back to the Super Bowl and wins it all would be a very fun outcome, but I promise you, it gets even crazier. The 2028 NFL season in Super Bowl 62, this one I also feel like is actually pretty realistic. The MVP of the league, according to ChatGPT, is CJ Stroud, who takes another leap with a refined offense and elite chemistry with Tank Dell and Nico Collins. So shout out to ChatGPT for telling us that Tank Dell gets healthy, recovers, and CJ Stroud becomes an MVP of the league. And I think in 3 years' time, that's certainly a possibility. They also have the Houston Texans as the best team in the regular season. With a top 3 defense and elite quarterback play, Houston becomes the class of the AFC. And we are poised for a fantastic Super Bowl matchup, as Super Bowl 62 will see the Houston Texans take on my very own Philadelphia Eagles. And for those of you who don't know, my roommate is a Houston Texans fan, so this would be quite the, Super Bowl 62 outcome. Unfortunately for myself, the Super Bowl champion this year is the Houston Texans. Final score 28-23 in this Super Bowl. DeMeco Ryans leads Houston's to its first ever Super Bowl title. And CJ Stroud is not your Super Bowl MVP. ChatGPT is predicting Will Anderson Jr. for Super Bowl MVP. Does it come on the back of a strip sack, forced fumble? Does he recover a fumble for a touchdown? Is Will Anderson out there, clogging passing lanes, getting a pick six? I have no clue. But Texans, Eagles, you couldn't script a better Super Bowl for me. And ChatGPT absolutely cooked here. CJ Stroud gets MVP, best record, and a Super Bowl all in one season. That's got to enter him in top 5 quarterback conversations for sure by the time we get to 2028, according to ChatGPT. We now move into the next NFL season, year 4 of our 5-year window, and let me be honest, this is where things get absolutely off the rails. The MVP of the National Football League is Anthony Richardson, who at this point I'm not even sure if he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Colts in 2025, but apparently in 2029 he puts it all together with 3,500 passing yards and 1,200 rushing yards per ChatGPT with 45 total touchdowns. The league's ultimate dual threat quarterback, according to ChatGPT. The Colts are as well the best team in the NFL. Jonathan Taylor, Anthony Richardson, and a nasty O-line lead the NFL in rushing yards, and their defense just cracks into the top 5. So 1 year after the Texans were the class of the AFC winning the AFC South, the Colts respond the next year with an MVP QB in Anthony Richardson and the best record in football, meaning the AFC South is on the come up from what I'm hearing. And our Super Bowl matchup for that year is the Indianapolis Colts versus the San Francisco 49ers. So San Francisco back in the Super Bowl, and Indy gets there. Unfortunately for Anthony Richardson, he doesn't have the same luck as CJ Stroud, as the San Francisco 49ers win the Super Bowl by a score of 26-21. Kyle Shanahan finally gets his ring thanks to a dominant showing by Christian McCaffrey in the defense. 2029, I have some questions about if McCaffrey could play in 2025. 4 years from now, he has a dominant performance in the Super Bowl. Listen, maybe that's a, 2 or 3 receiving touchdowns or something as a scat back where it's his retirement year. But, Christian McCaffrey leading the way for the 49ers to a Super Bowl. You have to respect it. And if you thought that season was crazy, I got something even crazier for you in 2030. As we hop into the 2030 season, the AFC South absolutely keeps on cooking out MVPs, and this time it is Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Lawrence peaks with 4,800 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, and a division sweep, meaning he just beat the 2 AFC South teams that got to the Super Bowl, in the Texans, who won it 2 years ago, and the Colts swept them, and the Titans. Doug Peterson is back on this team for some reason. ChatGPT must be going off of last year's coaches. Unleashes a potent offense. The best team in football, the Jacksonville Jaguars. An elite wide receiver trio, Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, and I don't know who else. A top 3 defense. The AFC, quote unquote, runs through Duval. And the Super Bowl, believe it or not, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Could you imagine in 5 years from now, Cowboys Jaguars Super Bowl? This NFL is completely turned upside down. And to make it even crazier, your Super Bowl champion is the Dallas Cowboys. Somehow the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. It took ChatGPT to do it. Final score 35-31. And quote unquote from ChatGPT, after decades of "this is our year," Dallas finally delivers. Dak Prescott retires a champion, and CeeDee Lamb is named the Super Bowl MVP at the end of our crazy 5-year experiment. So there you have it. 5 years into the future from AI. Whether you're a believer in Mahomes' continued dominance or the soon emergence of Anthony Richardson and Caleb Williams winning MVPs, the next half decade of football, according to ChatGPT, was absolutely wild. Be sure to comment your predictions down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more football content. Check out the videos at the end of this channel. I appreciate your guys' support. We might have to make some more AI videos soon. Peace.